Hey Rockets. All right. So lesson 8, last lesson of the week. As you can see, I have an assistant with me. This is Kaner. He decided he needed to be in my lap right now. And lesson 8, we're going to be writing and graphing inequalities. Now, if you look at our math document, it does say that it would be a good idea to use the online workbook. There's some manipulatives and some online pieces that could come in handy there. As I look at this, since I don't want to be clicking back and forth between too many screens, I'm going to start at 8.2, which says stories about 9. And I'm going to kind of skip these instructions here because I don't have the manipulatives in front of me, or the little pieces that you would normally have gotten in class. So I'm just going to start at question 2, where it's got a situation about a fishing boat. And a fishing boat can hold fewer than 9 people. Okay. Well, we're working with inequalities today. We're going to come up with a description of what this is telling us. Then we're going to put that on a number line. And finally, we're going to write it mathematically. So we're going to write it as an inequality here. So a description of this, if this fishing boat can hold fewer than 9, I can say fewer, I could use the word less. So less, oh, I kind of need to grab my writing tool here in order for this to work. There we go. So less than, fewer than. This is where we do the description. It's going to be in word form. And 9 was the number that it had said there. And if we look at that original piece, it says that the people, this less than 9 is going to be represented by X. So I'm going to say that X is what is less than 9. So I'm actually going to start this by saying X is less than 9. All X means is, in this context, the number of people on the boat. It needs to be less than 9. So if I look at my number line, I'm going to start at the number 9. There's 9. So I'm going to circle that 9. And it could be anything less than 9. So that boat could hold 8 people. That boat could hold 7. It could hold 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, all the way down to 0. But 9 would be too many. That fishing boat is going to capsize or sink if we get that amount of weight in there. So in order to graph this, when we graph an inequality, it's actually going to be a shaded in number line where the dot or the circle on that number line represents the number that we're working off of. To write this as an inequality, we said that X is less than, again, your symbol is always hungry. The mouth is going to open toward the bigger thing. Since X is less than 9, my symbol is going to face that way. It's on the small side. X is the lower thing, and it's less than 9. So that would be my inequality to represent the same situation that we now have as a statement. We have it as a number line, we've got it graphed, and we have it written mathematically as an inequality. So we're going to try and do that same process over again, but we're going to do that now with Lynn. So Lynn needs more than 9 ounces of butter to make cookies. More than 9. 9's not enough. Could be 10, could be 11, could be lots of things, but more than 9. So description, word-wise, again, we're using X to represent our ounces of butter. And the ounces of butter that she needs, oh, bye, cat, would be that X needs to be more, is more than or greater than, here we go again with the touchscreen, more than 9. So again, 9 is the number we're working with. So I'm going to circle that 9 there on that number line. But this time, the amounts that work for what she's asking for or what we need here for Lynn's party are things that are greater or more than. So 10 could work, 11 could, 12 could, so on. As long as she's got more than 9 ounces, she'll be all set to make those cookies. So I'm going to shade everything to the right, to the greater than side of that 9. And finally, I'm going to write this as an inequality. So mathematically, I'm going to use that variable, that x that they told us to use. And this time, x needs to be greater than 9. So x needs to be the bigger thing. And it's 9 is the number we're working with, so x is greater than 9. There's our mathematical inequality that represents that situation. We've got one more. Let's see. If I hide this, can I see it all? I can see most of it. I'm going to make it work here so that I don't have to move the screen. Go red, or orange, I guess. A magician will perform her magic tricks only if there are at least 9 people in the audience. At least. So if there's 9, she'll do it. 8, not happening. 10, good to go, but 7, not okay. So as a description, she wants X to be, X must be more, oh, at least. So 9 or more. So I'm going to reword that now that I reread that. X must be 9 or higher because she will perform for 9. Is 9 or more. On our number line, again, 9's our number, so I'm going to circle that 9. She will perform for 9. She will perform for 10. She will perform for 11, 12, blah, 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 numbers that are bigger, greater. So I'm going to say that any of those numbers here. Now, a very slight difference between C and B is that Lynn needed more than 9. The magician needs at least 9. 9 or more. So that very slight difference, the only thing that's going to change is the fact that when I put this on the number line, since 9 counts, 9 would work, she will perform for 9, I'm actually going to color in the number 9 as well. I'm going to make this into a closed or darkened circle on the number 9. Whereas in the situation with Lynn up above, that's going to remain an open circle because 9 isn't enough. She needs greater. With the magician, 9 is good, so are 10, 11, 12, blah, 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 blah. Now, I can't see it here yet because I would have to scroll the screen, but I know it's going to tell me I need to write an inequality once again for this. So I'm going to write my inequality just, I guess, off to the side here. So again, we're going to use those greater than, less than, or equal to symbols, kind of those mouth-looking symbols. And I've got X and I've got 9, once again, that are being used here. X needs to be greater than, or it can be 9. So we're going to say X could be greater than or equal to 9. It could be exactly 9 or bigger. So I'm still going to use that greater than symbol because we would like it if there were more than 9 in the audience, if X was bigger than 9. But she said 9 works. So the way that we show that with a symbol, with an inequality, is to just put a line underneath that. It's basically taking an equal sign and taking half of that equal sign, one of the lines out of the equal sign, and putting it underneath that mouth inequality symbol. So you've kind of got a half and half symbol when you have something, a greater than or equal to, in a situation like this where it's at least 9. So if we've got one where the digit they're talking about is included, we close the dot there and we put a line underneath that inequality symbol. This is why it says, if you look at our math document here, that it would be a really good idea to read the lesson summary and know what the difference between an open circle and a closed circle. Look closely at those examples, and that's going to help you out with practice problems 1, 2, and 4. or if you opt for the con, it will help you out with that as well. And you will come across these in freckle as well, just kind of depending on what level you're on. But they are in there. So go practice one of those 3 ways and make sure your teacher knows what you've been doing. If you do the practice problems, take a picture of it and send it to us. The cons and freckle we can see automatically. Have a great day. See you later, 6th grade.